check out for the day. There's no time to waste when it's 100 degrees. Burns under my feet. Won't you have a drink with me? We head into town, see what it's about. Barely need a shirt, though the sun has almost set. Make the most of it. I know we will dance and sing. There's a heat wave. There's a heat wave rolling in. There's
Good evening, folks. Welcome to Monday night here at the Stout Esports channel. My name is Ice Cold Brew. I am joined here by Coach Crixus. Crix, welcome on in. What we got going for you tonight?
Tonight we've got a banger series. We got Stout versus River Falls. This is a traditional sports rivalry when it comes to traditional athletics, football, basketball. So this is a big rivalry game in that sense. But really excited for this Division One Wisconsin Esports Conference matchup tonight.
I'm inclined to agree. And River Falls actually coming out from last week. They were able to win off one series, currently 1-2 overall. But the second match of their week against the Wisconsin Badgers, they could not outperform them and were unfortunately just taken down the entire way. Stout Esports, in the meantime, coming out of another 3-0 sweep previously in the previous week. What's the mindset behind Stout coming into this?
Yeah, the varsity team last week had a bit of a rocky week, winning 3-0 against Eau Claire and then losing 0-3 to WCTC, which was a top-rated team in the state. So it was kind of a week of like, all right, yeah, we're good, but we're not that good. Time to polish up the little things at this point in the season. It's not just about pure talent getting us across the line. It's going to be about good comms, good rotations, being in the right place at the right times. So I'm excited to see what the guys have cooked up for tonight.
And of course, we're gonna have Volt Destroyer on the pitch with Troiva and Alpha as well too. Have they during practice have they looked into changing any of their strategies? Is Volt Destroyer going to step back and allow Alpha to step up, become the primary striker? Because I remember a couple weeks ago he was huge in getting that 3-0 after the very first series on stream.
Yeah, the guys are working on a couple things. There's a few things they spotted within ball chasing, just things with speed and rotation and spacing between each other. We've had a really clustered up play style that's really kind of scrappy at the moment, and we want to be able to open up the pitch a little bit more, get a little bit more ball movement, finding each other across the pitch. That's going to be some of the focuses for the team, and I hope to see it tonight. A couple more passes would be ideal.
It's going to be fascinating to see. Defensively on the rotation side, I know Troiva typically been one of the more sturdier blockers, just like Alpha has been as well. Do you think they're going to be more prepared for a continuous striking mindset that I believe we've seen from River Falls before, where they're going to continue to harass the backboard, harass the post line? And how do you best predict they will be able to carry that ball through and try to set up these counterattack moments that I personally feel like Bolt can take advantage of the best?
Yeah, I think that finding ourselves on the back foot is something this team has been very used to, even in our scrims and offline stuff. We found that we play a lot of defense. We don't put a lot of pressure on. It really comes down to those counterattacks, like you said. I think the aerial play out of the defensive half, carrying that ball into the offensive zone and really not wasting our time with the ball, being precious with the opportunities that we're given with the ball. There's a few opportunities last week that I saw that we had opportunity for a play. Maybe we just kind of gave up the ball a little bit early, and essentially just not carrying a lot of possession. So I'd like to see some changes in the overall possession tonight. The guys playing a little slower on the ball, being a little bit more meticulous about how they move that ball around. But yeah, like you said, Volt, he's got great talent mechanically speaking. He's a smart player. He's got the ability to kind of take it all over the pitch whenever he'd like to as well. But yeah, Torva and Alpha, really good defensive players. Torva, I think that in years past, he's called himself, just the third man, constant third man. He's playing a lot of defense. He's worried about, making sure that we're not getting scored on. So I don't expect a crazy high scoring game, maybe from River Falls. I think that our defense has looked pretty decent for the most part. So I'm excited to see what they can manage.
I'm excited to see what they can manage as well. Looking ahead, we also have an inter-school matchup coming up as well. Looks like this Wednesday, October 2nd, is going to be varsity versus academy, big bro versus little bro. And I remember Bob the Huge Man being a part of that varsity lineup in the previous season. What do you expect to see coming into that match? And have they been ribbing each other about who's going to take that series yet?
Yeah, there's been a lot of trash talk already happening. They spotted it on the schedule a few weeks back, and it's definitely a highlight match that both rosters are looking forward to. I think that if you look on paper, it's not supposed to be that close. But obviously within our academy program, Bob the Huge Man has been an absolutely stellar player for that team. I think he's put up already 19 goals this season in the first 3 or 4 series that we've played. He's leading the WEC in goals scored. So I think as long as that academy team can continue to activate Bob the Huge Man, I think that it could be a really fun competitive series.
That sounds like truly exciting. I'm also noticing that you have a new player on both rosters as well. It's going to be D Young, who's actually a fantastic Valorant player as well. Has D Young been playing Rocket League for long, or did they want to join in on the fun with both squads and try to get a good feel of the game?
Yeah, so De Young's kind of an interesting story. He's truly the emergency only backup at this time. He doesn't regularly practice with the squad. He does have a little bit of Rocket League in his blood, but if we see De Young on the pitch, I think that we've got some serious issues. So I wouldn't expect to see him out here in this battlefield, but yeah, he's there. He's a fun Rocket League player, but I don't expect to see him too often.
Honestly, I mean, it's always nice to have that person just in case of emergencies. But when you know you have to break the glass to get that person out there, there is in fact an emergency. In the meantime, we are waiting for one more player to come onto the pitch. So, how do we expect this entire series to go so far? I imagine maybe a 3-1 going into. Actually, we will be heading in right now. Crixus, do you want to go ahead and give me your quick prediction as we get ready to go in for game one?
I'm inclined to agree with you. I think 3-1, and I think I'm gonna favor Stout in this matchup. But yeah, we'll see what goes on as we get started right away.
And currently, we're going to start off with believe on the field. I don't recognize Tusk or out as the ball is currently live. There might have been an issue on the lobby, so we're going to quickly back out of that and get that repaired. Uh, quick close start as well, though. Tusk with the proper rotation, getting into near that middle of the post, able to get that deflection and sending that out. As we are going to quickly get that rectified,
Yeah.
but tough first match just to start. Sadly, we had to cut it close and instead remake the lobby.
I thought I saw Volt trying to spot up Torb down the middle there for that central pass, but it just didn't seem to work out that first time.
And just the reaction time for Tor, just a little bit too quick for him to catch on, be able to set Volt on that initial run. But as we get ready for this new lobby to be built up, we I truly anticipate how this entire season is going to go. I believe we have about 5 more weeks off the top of my head going through the rest of the season. Please feel free to correct me if I am wrong on that. But going into this, what are some other matchups in the coming weeks that you are looking forward to? I apologize, 5 more games after this one coming forward.
Yeah, so I guess I can just kind of touch on the schedule a little bit. So there's a first half schedule that's been created. There's a week off, and then there's a whole another set of games that are going to happen after that. So there's actually a lot of really great matchups I'm looking forward to, such as that Minnesota or Wisconsin Badgers team that River Falls fell to recently. I'm excited to see how our team does against them. WCTC, their second team is actually extremely strong as well. Our academy team did take them 5 games recently, but they're a strong team on paper, and that'd be a big win for our program. And then Carthage College, they're a perennial Rocket League team. Every year they've got a really solid team. I expect that to be a great matchup as well. I think we went down to them at LAN this last semester, in the lower brackets. So I think we're definitely hoping for some revenge on Carthage. I don't really know how much of a true rivalry it is, but getting past them is always a good milestone.
Always good to have that mentality going in as well, too. And I feel like the entire squad on Varsity is so confidently done now. Restart game one, ready to play, and it's going to be Volt Destroyer taking that kick off to the side. Looking for this first anticipatory touch, gets it out to Alpha. He's going to try and drop it down for Torb. Torb still playing that mid lane, and that is a reliable spot for both Torb and Alpha to play off. They always try to play off centered. Torb hits that crossbar, but unsuccessful in that first touch.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that Torb might be Torva tonight. I know he's got a couple different usernames that he rolls with. So, um, but yeah, so far not looking great. Torb there throwing it into the back of Stout's net for the first goal of the series for River Falls. Just like a series of bad touches. With a little back pass, but just not able to control it there for the first goal of the game.
Yeah, Alpha just a bit too quick to get that touch, and sadly he puts a little bit more force behind that Torva wasn't able to receive in order to redirect. So now they're down by 1, but still very early on in the game. Alpha trying to fake out the opposition will get that bar down, and what a outplay on the opposition here. Just comes up high, hits off the ceiling, final touch, and then goes in for another just to fake out the defense. Old Bay not able to get a final touch.
Yeah, it may have been a miscommunication on that backside as you see 2 River Falls players go down to the goal line. No one covering up the backboard there. So Maybe just a simple error on the River Falls side, but we will see if Stout can continue to apply the pressure as Torva gets a nice double tap off the sidewall to keep the pressure on.
All around the corner, Olve misses a touch as well. Fingal, unsure of what to do. Backline defender demoed by Volt Destroyer, and Alpha will reign on top from the pass by Torb.
Yeah, that's just good ball movement there into the corner, clearing up that third man, opens it wide up for Alpha. It gives Stout the 2-1 lead here. Still in the first minute of gameplay, a lot of action so far.
I think that's one thing I really appreciate about the Stout playstyle is they can play very aggressive when they need to. And I think taking these momentary mistakes that their opposition does and punishing them for it in a very much basketball mindset of you reach, I teach mindset, seeing that follow-up demo into the easy open net goal allows Stout to continue to dominate against their performance as the opposition adjusts, and Torb will be able to take that pass off the back from Alpha, and Alpha repaying the favor.
Yeah, that's just another good set of ball movement there from the Blue Devils. A nice high ball off the backboard and a simple follow-up straight to the net. I'd say looking from my lens here, I'd say that the communication's probably moving pretty well right now for Stout. The rotations are there, the spacing is there, and continually applying this pressure is exactly what we need to be doing this early in the match.
Volt Destroyer clearing out that back line with that bump as well, trying to set it up. What a touch. Able to get it past Olve with the save, but Torb is going to come in as the third man doing his job perfectly well.
Yeah, and honestly, an incredible save here coming up from an awkward angle at that, but Blue Devils just swarming in there to finish off.
A bit of a double commit at that center line, but honestly, they had all the space and all the time. I think going into game one right now, the biggest difference between the two squads I'm seeing is the Blue Devils are just playing so much faster than River Falls. It feels like they're being caught out so often that's making it difficult for them to be able to focus and recover on the ball. Alpha getting a ball cleared out. Olve with some payback on Volt Destroyer, but that's not going to be enough to capitalize on a chance to score. Tricks can't really bring that ball to center, and Volt's going to find a clearance. That's going to go down to Torf. A little bit more force. Corner pocket. Olve with the save will clear it out and buy some time.
Yeah, really close play there from the Blue Devils. One of those great counterattacking moments we touched on in the pregame, but just not able to capitalize. A shot just goes high from River Falls, an opportunity to miss there, but they're going to regain possession here. But it's Alpha just flying in at the ball here, creating more opportunity for the Blue Devils as a little pass just goes off cue.
Yeah, just a bit too many touches, too many cooks, ruining the broth as Trixie drops that ball down to Olve, but not able to bring it inside. Instead, forced to put it down to the corner. 2:15 left to go. Still plenty of time for River Falls to catch up, but Alpha is going to ensure they have a strong, steady lead. 4 goals in the lead off the pass from Volt Destroyer.
Yeah, nice 50 there by Torva in the midfield. Pops it over to Volt, pops it back to Alpha. Good movement, spacing. I mean, I've said it 3-4 times now, but it's the that passing and communication that we want to see on display today, and the Blue Devils are doing just that.
That rotation awareness as well, being able to set each other up in the front field is something that you commonly see at B-tier level players and above, especially in CRL. You see it in the RLCS majors. Volt Destroyer, though, will be able to carry this one alone. Fingal with the save off the crossbar prevents the danger of getting to Brazil, but we're seeing a lot more of that upfield play from the Blue Devils, and that's been a huge boon for them in order to find their options to score. Torb gets the double tap, won't go through. Volt Destroyer with a follow-up, cannot find it.
Yeah, playing a... Wow, what a flip reset. Blue Devils find themselves on their heels there for just a moment, and River Falls Falcons will strike on a great flip reset. Olve there, get it over the third defender.
It just comes off the ceiling fairly quickly and gets one final touch just to put it right past. Now brings it down to a 3-goal game. 88 seconds left to go. They have this momentum behind them. Fingal with the demo, and Alpha is going to provide a chance. Volt Destroyer can't get to the ball inside. Alpha rising from the grave and now rising above the competition. Pass down to Volt. Just can't make that connection, but I like the idea for that pass.
Yeah, there's definitely some good vision in there. It's just a matter of finalizing that execution piece. Definitely was a great vision for a pass. But, See if River Falls can start to figure out this Stout offense. I will say after that first, 2.5 minutes of gameplay, things have fairly leveled out. So I could expect a few more. Ooh, what a pass from Volt there. The fake flip reset. Torb puts it in the back of the net. And, just as I say, things are looking a little bit more even. The Blue Devils find another goal.
Honestly, that's one thing again that we've been seeing from the Stout offense is not just perfect team chemistry as well, but again, outplaying their opposition, being able to have multiple options available whenever they go to score. Well, River Falls needs to work on cutting out these passing plays and try to make it a little bit more difficult for Stout to set up these options. Bolt Destroyer, Smart 50 off to the side. It's going to buy some time trying to pick up the boost, but sadly cannot get there in time. Olvey picks up some, but Torb taking up top, wants to pinch against the ceiling, goes for the ground, down to Alpha, who will strike in close, and that last defender cannot get there in time.
Yeah, Torva just pushed into the ceiling here for a little solo play, not able to maximize on it, but ends up getting himself a nice 50, just puts it in the center of the pitch for Alpha to follow up, being in the right place at the right time for that play.
And I think Torva and Alpha do such a fantastic job of switching between the 2 and 3. It's near seamless transition where either one of them could be coming up at any time. Albeit that has led to a couple double commits here and there, but it's not something that River Falls has been able to capitalize on. As Tor puts that ball off towards the left post, or Olver will carry that one through. Double demo on the pitch, all off target. 5 seconds left to go with a 5-goal lead. That's going to give game 1 to Stout. And overall, Crixus, I feel like they had so many factors going in their favor, whether it was the passing plays, the disruptive demos on the River Falls back line, the push plays that allowed them to take space and look upfield with a just perfect clarity of vision. I mean, what did Stout not do right in that game? I find it hard to find any fault.
Yeah, my picky eyes can find little things for them to continue to work on, but it's part of my job to oversee the program. But there's just little moments, little cross ups in the rotation. Maybe it's a miscom, but a lot of things firing on all cylinders there for the Blue Devils. It looked like a really smooth start to the series. Definitely excited to see if they can continue that offensive momentum, keep finding each other on the pitch. Especially in series like these where maybe it's a little bit more mismatch on paper. I want our guys to continue their focus on doing the plays the right way and not, just getting loose just because it's potentially an easier matchup. But so I'd definitely like to see them continue to pass the ball well like they were, finding opportunities on that counterattack as well.
I'm inclined to agree. And honestly, even looking at the stat sheet as well, they did a fantastic job of setting up these passing plays. 7 goals, 7 assists, uh, about 50, just a little bit less than 50% in shot accuracy as well. And it's just that overwhelming pressure as well. It felt like River Falls couldn't really find a moment to break away. Looking at River Falls themselves, I imagine a big discussion that they're going to have here is they're going to try to slow down that offense. They're going to try and find better clears that leave them in control of the ball, just like that kickoff with Olvey picking this one up in the corner, trying to bring it around Polk, but will not be able to do so. We're going into game 2 now, game 1 in favor of Stout.
Yeah, I'd like to see a couple adjustments on River Falls. I think, like you mentioned, slowing the game down a little bit, finding more opportunities that land in their favor, I think would definitely be a good start for River Falls here, as they are already working on this counterattack. Uh, Double fake.
Massive fake working in the favor of Alpha. Torva jumping up to challenge this ball. And then when we see Trix just go sailing right by, Fingal now has to recover from the back of the net. And sadly, that's just not enough time. Alpha putting so much force behind that ball to take that first goal. Fantastic setup. I don't know if they actually planned for that, though.
It definitely did not look planned, and they just happened to catch the River Falls. Ooh, great goal by Fingal there, just finding a slot off the kickoff to make the game even. Great dunk there, without any boost, getting everything done for his team to keep him in. Good effort by the Blue Devils to try to cover that up, but it was a little too late.
You know, the biggest thing I hear in Rocket League is you have to put that ball in hard and fast. A lot of times that slow teardrop is enough to throw off your opposition because they're so used to playing with such alacrity, and that forces them to be cut off. Olvey picking up another demo, but Fingal can't bring it inside the post this time. Able to find that first shot is going to be so imperative for this team. Able to bring this momentum back in their favor. It's a tie game now. Alpha up high, setting up for a backward pass. Looks to go to Volt Destroyer, who will pick up the call and answer
Yeah, just another good opportunity here for the Blue Devils. Instead of just feeding it at the net, probably where River Falls was expecting, he puts it high off the backboard, gives another teammate an opportunity to capitalize on it, and Bolt Destroyer gets up in the air nice and early and finds a slot.
I really love the higher level you see, the faster these backboard passes will come at their opposition. So Olve is going to try and pick this up. A bit of a breakdown communication. Volt Destroyer and Alpha both bumping it into each other. Now Alpha's in an awkward spot, can't really pick up the ball. Volt taken out by Trick is instead going to have to step back. Olve going up high, can't rise high enough. Does not have the vertical in that moment. Continue to attack that mid lane. Not really finding a lot of success on the side of River Falls, but Fingal will take down Volt Destroyer. Maybe looking for a reprieve. It's Alpha's got no boost. Olve can't get there in time. Volt Destroyer comes back from the grave. Find that save.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a little bit of a transformed River Falls here. They're getting a little bit more aggressive on those demos. They are slowing down their offensive opportunities, trying to just find those small gaps in Stout's defense. But right now, Stout's doing a decent job just covering all those angles, even with the extra aggression with the demos as Alpha gets one of his own.
Little center save from Volt Destroyer. Not enough to really bring out another aggressive attack. You can see the rotations here getting a little bit more muddled on the side of River Falls. They're collapsing into the same zones, trying to support each other, and all that's doing is causing more confusion. If they can space themselves out with one or two being a little bit more closer to half court or the mid lane, they can take that opportunity to find another goal. Volt Destroyer dropping it down to Torb. Torb is going to put it off target instead, try to reset for another attack run, but Olve's going to pick it up for a counter attack.
And we got a good stop here by A. Trying to run up a solo play, just runs out of boost. We got Tricky now an opportunity. Plays a slow 50, unfortunately. Loses the advantage on that as the ball's dumped into the River Falls end. A good passing play here from Alpha. Going to try to find Torva, but he's just going to play it slow, waiting for Bolt here to come up off the ceiling. And good coverage once again there by River Falls.
Alpha, smart play, able to wait for that last moment, recognizing Olve was running out of boost. Olve punching Torb, taking him out, and Trixie tried to go for a Kooksier pinch, but sadly does not really get the alignment set up correctly. Now that ball's on the backboard. Olve has to pick this one up, able to deny Torva. Alpha has to force it down to the corner. Not enough space for him to play around those. Fingal wants to rise above, but sadly does a foundational flip. And now Volt Destroyer looking for a double tap, gets cut off at the backboard. 95 seconds left to go. River Falls looking to tie it up currently, but they do not have control of the match. They do not have control of the tempo right now.
Yeah, as much as they try to slow it down, get a few items moving in their favor, it seems like every time they find an opportunity, the Blue Devils are able to shut it down. I don't think they've had a decent look at the net in most of the second half of this game. As Torva here going for a flip reset onto net, just off the mark. A great save there by River Falls. The Blue Devils will keep the pressure. Another shot on net by Volt. Nothing doing there. Great opportunity for a counterattack from Fingal. Just sends it into the corner. And Torva should have this covered. And we got a flip reset into a musty. Just not enough juice there from Torva.
Just struggling a little bit to bring that clarity over, but also River Falls as well. It feels like there's just a breakdown communication every time they have that chance to attack, and it's causing that frustration where there's that perfect setup right at the center line, right mid, and they cannot convert because no one is there, because no one's prepared for that moment. Olve with the save on Torva, Volt Destroyer quickly cutting him off, but that ball is coming back as Alpha strikes once again. Tricky is trying to find a moment. He's trying to find some kind of space, but every single time he either throws the ball a bit too far out or gets cuts off. Olve trying to set up on the backboard for Fingal, but instead that's going to be a chance for Volt Destroyer to find a third goal. Will roll in, and now it's a 2-goal lead in Stout's favor.
Yeah, that was an incredibly close chance there for River Falls. They had a couple of Stout players beat on the back end, just one more defender to beat, but it was Volt Destroyer just happened to get a good clearance straight down into the net across the field, just to give Blue Devils a little bit more insurance as they might just wrap up this second game of the series.
It looks like Volt Destroyer is going to send a final pop-up to get a 0-second goal. 3-goal lead in their favor, and they are on the precipice of a sweep to continue this run, bring the record to 3-1 in their favor. River Falls, at the very beginning, in the very first 2 minutes, felt like they had a smart game plan going into it, but it started to fall apart at the very end.
Yeah, they had an extremely competitive game there in game number two. They definitely changed up the play style. They got more aggressive. They took their time on the ball, trying to create a little different opportunity with it. But it seemed like they were maybe taking too much time, allowing Stout to really close the gap, not really allowing any of that pressure to turn into anything. Obviously the end scoreline is 4-1, but I think that was a far more competitive game than the scoreline showed at the end being 4-1. If you look into the small details, yeah, I think we, had the pressure for majority of the game there, but River Falls definitely kept it competitive.
River Falls definitely kept it competitive, and the biggest aspect I saw, at least, was they started putting out demos at and tried to find a better pace for these demos to come out in order to find these openings. However, they weren't really again able to capitalize on them. In fact, the one goal they picked up was just because Fingal happened to get a soft teardrop on an off angle that I don't think Stout was prepared for in that moment. And so I would love to see them step up on the demos and try to boost steal out from Stout as well. I think another aspect of that speed and aggressiveness coming from Stout is they're able to find that boost pathing that has worked so well, so efficiently for them that allows them to continue to invade that space of River Falls.
Yeah, the boost management and pathing is something that the Blue Devils have been working on that we struggled with, especially early on in some scrims. So I'm glad to see you've noticed they're picking it up pretty well. I think that it has looked a much better today than in the past. But yeah, getting out into this third game of the series, it is a best of five here tonight in the Wisconsin Esports Conference. As once again, it's Stout just with immediate pressure in the orange half off the first 25 seconds of the game.
And Torva is able to pick up this ball, some smart control, but not really a lot of speed as Trixie dives in on Torva. Goes in after picking up that boost out of the corner, doesn't really fall through. That ball's wide open. That's going to provide plenty of time and plenty of a chance for Volt Destroyer to come down the center and cause some havoc.
Yeah, that was about 38 seconds straight of pressure, boost stealing. I mean, Stout had them, in a grinder there. That was a tough one for River Falls to manage their way through, and I think with that many shots near target, it was nearly inevitable that Stout was going to put one in the back of the net.
I do love Torb just coming in and faking that pressure on that corner play just to swing back around and pick up the ball again. Now picking up a demo on Trixie. Fingal last one back. He's going to miss out on the ball. Hopes that Trixie can come back in time. Able to do so. Gets that touch, but it's going to get bumped out. Plenty of boost, but can't get back in time. Volt Destroyer trying to make sense of the chaos. Could not bring that ball down and inside. So it's going to be Ove. No, Alpha with the cutoff, but it's going to hit the backboard and get cleared out by Trixie. Here comes that pressure once again from Stout. Just impressively well run, and everyone's on low boost on the side of River Falls.
And once again, I mean, the rotations are covered just as River Falls was looking for an opportunity to clear that ball. Alpha comes flying in from the back line just to keep it in the orange half. But River Falls doing the best they can right now to work their way out of defense, try to create an offensive opportunity. But Volt Destroyer going for a shot. Fingal now with an opportunity to clear the ball out and create something for River Falls.
Yeah, I would love to see Fingal with a bit more boost in the tank instead of just floating and trying to glide back down with control of the ball in order to make an effort out of that play. Alpha on the backboard won't be able to pick that one up, wants to steal the boost, but Ove's already on top of it. Trixie taking flight. That's going to be off target, and Volt Destroyer will ensure that goes far and away. Ball out of control. Trixie going to try and dodge the bump from Volt. Torba back down to the corner. Sets it up for a close post shot, but Ove will pick up the save. Clears it out, now taking flight, going for the air dribble. Tries to fake the flip reset around Bolt, but Alpha will rise above and send it off and away.
And now we got Alpha on that counterattack. No boost here, so limited chances. Ends up stealing the River Falls boost. We'll see if Volt Destroyer can create anything out of this. Just gets under that ball, pass over to Alpha, and a good 50 by River Falls.
Chance Ove tries to get around Torva, but Torva is just playing the 50 game pretty well, just securing that ball, ensuring they don't have any forward momentum. Alpha on the backboard set up for Torva, who will sail right by just a bit too low, just needs to raise up in altitude a bit more. Ove, big clear out down to the corner from Torva, who's going to try and raid, gives it up to Alpha instead, and it's not going to work out for them. Again, they're trying to play off this corner. I need to see River Falls come out of the corner, trying to set up a backboard play, trying to look for another opportunity here, but instead they're going to get 50. No one's back. That's going to be an easy goal for Torb.
Yeah, just I think River Falls overextending a little bit there, trying to really keep this pressure, and unfortunately the 50 does not squeak out the way they wanted to, drops right down to a Stout player, and yeah, like you said, no one back at that moment, so wide open for a 2-0 lead.
2-0 and about 100 seconds left to go. 110 seconds left to go for River Falls to try a mounted comeback. Torb trying to ensure they get a 3-goal lead at this point, which to me allows them to relax and just focus on the mechanics that they need to work on at that point. It's going to be a safety threshold for them. Ove trying to make it a little unsafe on the field with that demo. It's going to provide Fingal a chance, but again, no boost from Fingal is going to make it difficult for him to come up and challenge. Trixie trying to pick up a penny for a pound. Won't be able to fall through. Ove down center. Volt Destroyer upfield, and honestly thought that was about to be an upfield pass, but no one is there to pick it up. Instead, Bolt, tight angle shot will not fall.
Yeah, and great counterattack there by Volt trying to create a highlight play, but once again, it was River Falls without any boost on that offensive opportunity just a few seconds back, and I think you brought it up a time or two before. Just needing a little bit extra boost to really get these plays across the line. They're getting the ball into Stout's half here, but just not quite enough to get it past the defense.
And I love Olve just trying to dive in, trying to cut off that touch from Torv, but instead it just provides yet another opening as he cuts in a little bit too quickly. Olve carrying this ball up center, goes for the flip reset, but there's 3 defenders on that back line. Not going to be easy to get past them as Torv takes out Fingal. Now, Trixie scrumming for position. Gives a chance for Olve, but they're not going to be there fast enough. Torva able to come back in from respawn to pick up the ball.
Yeah, a lot of pressure here from River Falls in these dying moments here. Um, but it's like Torb here up on the offensive end, doing a little bit of cherry picking, stealing some boosts, but not able to make anything of that as we are down to 0 seconds, and that's going to be a 3-0 match score for the Stout Blue Devils.
Yeah, Blue Devils just coming in strong and working on a lot of those passing plays that you mentioned before. And that boost management as well was really impressive, especially the well-timed steals from Alpha and Torva as well. And I truly love that demo heavy play style that Bolt was giving us in game one. I would love to have seen that continue. But overall, a very impressive 3-0 in favor of Stout. How do you feel about the entire match overall as their coach and the manager for the program?
I'm pleased with it. I think that's the result we were definitely hoping for tonight. I think that we showed a few of the different things that we were working on. It's baby steps at a time as we prepare ourselves for the lands at the end of the year. So little growth at a time, and I definitely saw that today. So I think I'm definitely proud of the guys on how well they performed.
I'm inclined to agree. And as we continue on, they'll have another match coming up this Wednesday, an in-house match against Academy. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and close out for the evening. Coach Crixus, thank you so much for joining us for the broadcast. And folks, thank you so much for joining us here on Stout Esports. Have a wonderful evening. Have a good Monday. Take care and good night.